Orson Welles speaking. I just saw the impossible happen before my astounded eyes. I saw a man grow smaller and smaller day by day. I saw the loneliest and most frightened creature on earth living a nightmare in a world of giants. The incredible shrinking man.
The incredible shrinking man.
Who calls me from out of the pit?
I'm Paul.
I'm Mark.
I'm Nick.
And this is the return to the sun of the show. Tonight we're going to be talking about The Incredible Shrinking Man, which aired on Svenghoolie this week. It's a personal favorite of mine. I know these guys seem to like it. But before we get too far into it, if you like these videos, you like this channel, do us all a favor and hit the like, subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you don't miss a single video. We're going to talk about the movie, then we'll talk about the Sven bits, and then we have our question of the day. How about the movie? What do you guys think? Thoughts?
Well, it's the first time I've seen it.
First time I've ever seen it.
Then you should start. Yeah,
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. It is the first time I've ever seen it. In my head, I thought I had seen it, but nope, never seen it at all. Uh, so, yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's not what I expected at all.
Yeah.
So, you. I think of it as I know they came later, the Colossal Man movie. So I think of it more as I'm like, okay, it'll be a reverse monster movie, but it's not that at all. It's very, typical Richard Matheson, very psychological.
Yeah.
And so, it just was not. It went places I didn't think it would go, and it was more like a domestic story, just
Yes.
like
Yep.
and that's. But at the same time, it's still a horror movie. He's still trapped in a horror situation, horror situation, and so I was really impressed by it. It just it's a bit slow to get started. I know we were kind of visiting a lot on and off during the beginning of the movie, but once he shrank down to a certain point, then it really kicked in. The movie, I thought, kicked in.
Yeah.
And the special effects were great. I think my favorite scene is when he's passed out on the grate and all the water from the water heater is going, and that it just looked very realistic.
Yeah,
It did not look like a guy on a fake grate. It looked real. It looked like a very real, very real grate. So, yeah, very, very impressive movie.
Yeah, the whole domestic thing is like really just fascinating because there's all this subtle stuff between him and his wife, where he's angry at her, she just feels lost, and he knows the not so subtle thing is he can't satisfy her. He can't help her.
Yeah.
He can't help around the house, and he can't help around the house.
That's right.
But
it's 1957.
Right. And so there's that. And he even mentions how he feels worthless, and he knows he's dominating her, but he can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And he wants to, but he can't. And then there's that moment when he kind of he finds new life is he meets this midget at the circus, this really attractive woman. They're the same height. Next thing you know, he's seeing her in the park and he's doing other things, and I have life again because he's having this affair.
Yeah.
But then that all falls apart because he starts shrinking again.
And it's a metaphor for an affair.
Exactly.
They never pan out, and nor should they.
Yeah. So it's this amazing how he just weaves that in there so well. And the effects are just incredible. This is one of my dad's favorite movies.
Okay.
And how the the scene on the grate is incredible. The One of my favorite things is they do whoever set up the composite shots in this movie did a really good job. My favorite one is the shot where he's in the dollhouse and the cat is behind it trying to get in.
Yes,
That is such a perfect composite shot. Like that cat looks like it's in that house.
Oh yeah,
and like and he's right there in the foreground. It's like, man, that's just a perfect shot. And the whole and then the infamous spider coming out of the box. Like, you just think like, man, people seeing it in the theater for the first time, were probably screaming when the thing came out. It's a blast.
Yeah, it reminded me of not of another movie, but of a book. But it reminded me of a more hopeful, because I think it sort of has a hopeful ending, version of the Metamorphosis.
Yeah.
So I mean, so he does not it does not end hopeful in the Metamorphosis.
Sure.
No,
but kind of another metaphoric changing of man and him trying to find his place.
Yeah.
And so it kind of reminded me of the Metamorphosis too.
Well, I read the book, but I'm not gonna. Well, the book was better. But no, I had seen this on Svenghoolie way back in the day. It was probably the first place I saw it.
Yeah.
I love how the second half of the movie is basically a one-man show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and that takes a lot. So between the one-man show and the special effects, it's impressive to watch. I love it.
And you thank God they left a lot of cheese in the basement.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Although for all the cheese and all the mice traps, not one mouse in the whole movie. So I would have at least had one mouse. But
well, that cat was just good.
That's true. That's true. The cat. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Who then was a famous Hollywood cat.
Yes, which was crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. Made it all the way to Breakfast at Tiffany's. So that'd be an old cat by Breakfast at Tiffany's.
That's true.
So
well, I made the joke about how that cat is orange. And sure enough, it's Orangey the cat.
Orangey the cat, yes, yeah. And again, this is my first time watching it. So the main character, to me, he wasn't very likable in the beginning of the movie. I don't know why. I just got the impression, I don't know if that was the husband and wife's humor, but he just seemed kind of
well,
full of himself, and she was second class, and so
considering like their first bit of dialogue is, hey, go get me a beer.
Yeah, go get me a beer. Yeah. And I'll cook you something.
Right.
But so it's kind of, maybe it was the fake blonde in his hair. I don't know. Just at first, I thought I didn't like him at first, but and I don't know if that was intentional or not, but just kind of it. Could have really been a very depressing. I mean, it was kind of depressing throughout, just watching him lose everything.
Yeah,
and so, and then his wife leaving with the brother, and the work's not being able to pay him anymore, and so just kind of what do you do now? Kind of like retiring, I guess.
Well, and that's an interesting point because we were talking before we recorded about. The criticisms about what it meant to be a man in the 50s and if you couldn't provide or and that's kind of I think that's 100% what that the story was based on.
Sure.
Supposedly Matheson when he wrote the book though he got the idea because he was watching another movie that had Ray Milland in it and he accidentally put on a different guy's hat and like this, and that supposedly gave him the idea. To what if my clothes started, what if my clothes started getting bigger, But it's just interesting that Ray Milland, the the man with X-ray eyes and all that, but he's in this series. I guess it's a drama. I don't remember what it was, but it's interesting where inspiration comes from.
Yeah, and it also reminds me a lot of Matheson's I Am Legend. I mean, it's kind of like a man alone, left alone in a world he no longer recognizes.
Yep.
And so I think that I like that. But it's just so, I mean, you could tell, you read the book, but there seemed to be a lot of dialogue. It's like, are you just quoting the novel right there? Because it sounded like, and I think he wrote the screenplay as well and expanded it. So, I mean, it's just so well written.
Yeah.
And who thought that in a horror movie you'd be getting a treatise on philosophy and man's place in the universe?
Yes.
So I mean that just elevates it a lot.
Yes.
So
well, that's Matheson. I also think he interjected himself into the character because if you ever watched like interviews with him, he was kind of sarcastic and caustic.
Okay.
So I think maybe he just kind of put himself into the character a little bit, for fun, because it was written first person. So
yeah. And I did some research too during the commercial breaks, and I guess the director was disappointed that it inspired lesser movies after that. So I guess they really, I mean, they knew what they had.
Yeah.
And so he's like, and they just made bigger, smaller monster movies. It was just they didn't have the gravitas of our film. So that's
because Matheson didn't write that.
Matheson didn't write those. No, he sure didn't. Yeah, he sure didn't.
Yeah.
We
talk about him a lot on this show.
We do. Yeah. But I mean, clearly he was used a lot back then. I mean, they knew what they had.
One of the most successful and prolific writers of the time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like I was talking this earlier about the whole. By the end, you're getting into all the stuff of, like you said, man's place in the universe. And like we don't. What is significant? What's not significant? Like, and he even mentions how like, how's he put it? Like the infinitesimally small, the infinitesimally large, like eventually meet.
Yes.
Circle, and so like he's shrinking, and as we were joking, like he's going into the quantum realm.
Right.
He's going to see things no human has ever seen.
Correct.
So he's going to gain this incredible knowledge.
Yeah.
And yet he's talking about like seeing God and all this, and he's dressed like a disciple. The robe belt, the beard. He almost looks like Christ. And then you mentioned he comes to this grave which has all these crosses in it, and it's like, wow, how I've never seen that before.
Correct. Yeah.
Or noticed it all the times I've watched this movie.
Yeah.
And there's there's like a lot of little stuff that I like, the subtleties. Like another thing I noticed this time watching it was she makes I can't remember which one of them makes comments with a monogram on his shirt.
Yeah,
When he puts it on, it's lower than it should be.
Yeah, right.
And then another thing I noticed was in progressive scenes, like she gets taller. She starts to equal his height. And eventually, I'm sure that's her just like standing on little boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a really nice subtle touch.
Yeah.
Where, because he even mentions, well, you used to stand on your tiptoes and kiss me like that.
Yeah.
And then I remember I noticed it. There's one of the scenes where he's going to see yet another doctor, and she's almost as tall as he is. And she's talking to him, and she's like, "Oh, it'll be okay." And I thought, "Oh, that's cool." Again, the whole 50s. Can you provide? Like he's diminishing,
correct,
and she's getting bigger. And then there's also kind of a subtle thing there where his brother is still working. He's telling her, "I want you out of this house. You just need to get away from all of this." And like his brother is still a provider.
Yep, absolutely.
He's helping her out.
Yeah.
He cannot.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little subtle thing there.
Well, that and you bringing up the Jesus metaphor. I mean, he's also in the basement in hell, so he arrows himself through hell, and then comes out at the top into the light. I mean, he's literally going up into the light. So, so that very much, there's just so much going on in this movie. That I mean, it's even the hero. I mean, if you want to throw in some Conrad, it's Campbell, Joseph Campbell. It's even the hero's journey. He gets his little weapon. He gets his little, So
true.
Yeah, so just a lot of deep stuff.
Yeah, all that from a Matheson script.
Yeah,
who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought? Yeah.
I thought it was funny too when you had announced that having never seen it before, and it's getting towards the end. And you're like, what's he gonna do? Shrink down into the quantum realm? And I'm just like, I was thinking,
I gotta tell him. Yeah. Clearly, Marvel, has seen this. Whoever wrote that. Yeah.
Well, I read up on it a little bit too about how one of the doctors, I think it's the first one who treats him. He's later in Inner Space.
Oh yeah, treating. Yeah, cool. God, I love that movie.
He's like,
I love Inner Space.
Drinking or something.
Yes, what a great movie.
Oh, that's a nice bit of foreshadowing for later.
Yes. I think after a few weeks of Svenghoolie, kind of some good, some not so great movies. This was great to have a nice, and it's Universal. You can't beat Universal.
It's a Universal movie. It's a classic movie that apparently not a lot of people have seen as much as, what you think of when you say Universal movie.
Yeah, right.
And so all the way around, it was a good choice, and it was a lot of fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Impressions of this week's episode?
I so this is bad. I was like really fat. I was into the commercials he was doing because he's really amping up the 45th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And so, he did his, I forget what he calls the segment where he draws.
Too drawn out.
Too drawn out. And so the fact that he made it into a T-shirt now and a collectible, and at first I was like, and I got it on my phone now. I'm like, I'm probably gonna buy that T-shirt, but so.
And the fact that the answer was one of the most commonly said things on his show was great.
Yes.
That's a nice touch. Yes.
Yeah, so that was a good one. That was it seemed to have a lot more. He had some newer segments in it, so that was good.
Mm-hmm. The thing I like about when he goes back to when he does older segments is I didn't watch a lot of TV in the early 2000s, so I missed all of that. So it's all new to me.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that people fail to realize, because we belong to a couple of the groups, and a lot of people will complain about reruns and seeing these same bits and stuff. But it's new to somebody. We've been watching Sven since he came out.
Yeah.
And so to have this stuff be new to me is fun. So
I thought it was interesting tonight that he admitted that I can't reshoot these. We don't have the budget.
Yeah.
And so, because in my head, I'm like, why don't you just reshoot them and update them? And well, now we know why.
That 4 imprint ain't paying.
No, correct.
Reshoot.
Yeah. I hope that they give the Sen Squad more to do as we move forward. And hopefully maybe they can do newer bits instead of just the one with him tradition that we seem to have right now.
Yeah.
Although they were all in it this week.
Yeah.
And so I do want to know, not to spoil the Sven bit for people watching, but when Imp shrank them down, they were tiny little dolls. All of them. I'm like, I wonder if those will be on sale one day. I always thought that. Yeah. I thought so too. It's like, those are going to go on my shelf for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you're watching anyone from the Sven Show, we would love you to make the incredible shrinking versions of all of them.
That's right.
And then again, speaking of merchandise, I think when they had the mail segment, the person from Indiana who made it a giant mannequin of Sven, which was
Reynolds, Indiana.
Reynolds, Indiana, yeah. And so that was great. And they said a Sven Halloween mask, which I didn't.
The mask was the face of the mannequin. So apparently there was some sort of mask. Yeah,
I know. When did that go on sale? I don't remember that ever being on sale. So
check your Spirit Halloween. I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah,
they're everywhere. So.
So, but yeah, I thought the Sven bit. I didn't laugh at the Sven bit, but I liked it still. But I don't. Not every Sven bit to me is a laugh out loud.
I just like the fact that he was fine with them being gone.
Yeah, exactly. He leans back. Yeah, it's quiet.
Decent, quiet at last.
Yeah.
It's like an old man thing to say,
right? But some of the old stuff was good too. I do miss his more energetic days when he had more bits.
Yeah.
But he had the Lollipop Guild Svens, which was kind of funny. The song was, I like the song. So yeah, they were good bits. Now, of course, then I'm waiting for you to bring up your favorite bit.
Pinky and the Brain.
That's right.
Okay, every episode when we're watching Sven and it comes to On the Road, you will hear me chatting Pinky and the Brain, Pinky and the Brain. Right. And it's never Pinky and the Brain anymore. And then lo and behold, I'm like,
just when you're about to give up,
just about to give up hope when all hope was lost.
Right.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Bonanza. I think that's going to be fun this year.
Yeah, some double features.
Yeah, double features and stuff. And this whole House of Svenghoolie, which we'll make the prediction now, I think. So I guess you brought up that he did something similar last Halloween, but I think House of Svenghoolie, if and when he ever retires, and if the Sven Squad carries on, House of Svenghoolie would be a fantastic title for the show.
Yep.
If they if he ends up takes a step back.
Yeah.
He's only in there for one scene and someone else introduces the movie. But
like if the situation's reversed, or he comes on for a cameo, if you will, and while the rest of the show goes on around him.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking tonight.
Probably still writing.
Yeah. Well, we were talking tonight about bands that we've recently seen and how many of them are mostly down to maybe one original member, if any, but the band continues on. So I kind of see Sven being that way. He'll take a breath. He'll wave to the crowd, and he'll have other people doing stuff. So I'd love to see Bill Leff take over the creative reins.
And like we were talking about, it's such a perfect name because it follows in the tradition of like you had Frankenstein, Son of Frankenstein, House of Frankenstein.
They did a bunch of old Kerwin jokes.
Yes, which were funny. Those were funny.
Some of those were good. Yeah, that was another one.
He did the ventriloquist doll dummy. Who's what's his name? I always forget his name.
Durwood.
Something like that. Yeah. Which was just, of course, as you may not know out there, I hate ventriloquist dolls. And so seeing Sven as a ventriloquist doll, I didn't laugh because I thought it was creepy as hell. And the way Rich Kaz was doing the movements and the mouth.
Yeah.
The eyes going. Yeah, that was creepy. Yeah. I did not like it.
I had heard that his producer hated Durwood, so that's why they got rid of it. But I think
it's a clever bit. It's a clever bit.
Half the time when you'd hear him talking, he would be laughing the whole time he's trying to do these jokes. You know, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I thought it was clever. But cruel, creepy. Ugh, don't like it.
So definitely don't send Mark any dolls.
No,
definitely don't do that.
No,
don't. Yeah, definitely don't.
No, I don't need a Svenghoolie ventriloquist doll. No, thank you. It'll end up in a fire somewhere. As did my ventriloquist doll I owned as a child.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, had my dad burned it. After seeing the movie Magic.
Oh, well, yeah.
So, yeah. This is as close as I'll get. The bobblehead is because see, it doesn't move, so it can't. In my head, can't come alive and kill me. So,
except
it's totally logical.
Total kids horror logic. But yeah, so I think this was a home run this week,
all the way around.
Yeah. And like I said, I just wasn't expecting it. In my head, I was expecting another Colossal Man just opposite. So it was really good.
Yeah. Well, Mike's not here tonight, but we're about to do his favorite part of the whole show, which is the question of the day.
Is which part would Shaq have played in the...
The incredible shacking man.
He starts shrinking, but no one notices.
It takes forever.
Yeah, it's a 5-hour thing.
The question is, what movie that involves little people would you want to see on Svenghoolie?
I had it now. I lost it. Time Bandits.
That's on my list. Time Bandits.
Yes. On my list. It's such a fun movie.
Yeah.
I love David Warren's performance in that.
Yep.
And just like some of the jokes in that are so just perfect, I think. So yeah, that would be that one.
Mine, I don't think we could do anymore because I don't think the movie's appropriate anymore. But it would be Freaks. Would be.
Yeah.
I mean,
amazing.
That's an amazing movie. So, but if I understand that it might be offensive to some people. So
just have the uncut version of Freaks out there, and you're lying in your basement. Please get it to someone so we can all see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's an incredible movie, but I understand why. So my secondary choice would be Legend. Billy Barty's in Legend and so the movie Legend has little people in it. So, and that's a horror movie of a kind. So I think that would fit Svenghoolie.
Now, did I misinterpret when I asked the question about what little people meant?
I believe so. Yeah, because I assumed you meant when you said little people. Now, see, that's why I asked you earlier. Did you mean shrinking people with small people in it? Or did you mean little people as in the little Billy Murray?
I did not mean the Billy Butter type, but I'll quick grab one. Recently, we've been watching Battlestar Galactica, and we've discovered how the series was so chopped up and everything. So if you can do that to Battlestar Galactica, I want a movie-length version of Dr. Shrinker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I forget what the actor's name is. He has a little person.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
Otto
Okay.
or something like that. It's like
So what did you mean by little people?
Yeah.
little people.
Oh,
Like shrunk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll go.
So
with,
again, we're back. So this
All right.
now go back a few episodes. I want everyone to rewind and rewatch the debate over the word show and movie.
Yeah.
So now we see who you've now caused confusion twice. So I just want to point out. So most people would have said a movie with shrinking in it,
Yeah.
not little people. Okay.
Okay, Mark. So what's the question of the day?
So it would be what other shrinking movies would you like to see, or what other movies would you like to see on Svenghoolie that involve shrinking?
There we go. Yes.
Okay.
I'll go with Seventh Voyage of Sinbad
Oh, that's a great one.
because
That's a great choice.
that's Fitz Svenghoolie.
Uh-huh.
Great movie, plenty of shrinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, good movie. That'd be my choice for shrinking.
Not going to get any argument out of me.
Yeah. Well, then I'm gonna steal Fantastic Voyage. Because Raquel Welch, holy cow! Just for that scene alone,
yeah.
you know, as the
Yeah.
kids would say.
Yeah.
And plus there's Donald Pleasance in it. Come on.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah. Well, then I'm going to go with the 1973 classic TV movie of the week about these two young boomers that move into this perfectly good old house and immediately start to destroy it by remodeling. Also known as Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
Oh wow!
Wow! Shoo! Pull that one out.
That movie, I recently rewatched it.
Wow!
And like Kim Darby didn't make a lot of movies, but she usually made pretty good ones. And I love the Del Toro movie, but this one to me is better because it's one of these deals where like the husband never listens to the wife.
Okay.
Even when it's like she's like absolutely just like frantic and he's still it's not what you're thinking, honey. But the crazy thing is I was watching it, I'm like, it'd be really cool is if like they cut out all of the evidence of the little people that were causing all these problems.
Okay.
So that it all looked like it was in her head until the end, because at the end when she's being dragged through the down the basement and into the furnace area, she grabs a camera and she's taking pictures. So it'd be cool. Like at the end, they develop the film and it's like,
oh man, she wasn't crazy. Yeah,
but yeah, no, it's Don't Be Afraid of the Dark.
He's going to be showing some new movies in October.
Yeah, two really good newer movies. Actually,
yeah. So it was Labyrinth and what's the other one? Pause the film. What do you say? Labyrinth.
Dark Crystal.
Dark Crystal.
Oh, sweet.
Labyrinth and Dark Crystal.
Yep.
So apparently he can get, but one would think those would be easy to get, but I bet it's not. I bet that's tied up with the Hensons and yeah.
If we can get Labyrinth, give us Phenomenon.
Oh,
yeah. And if you know, you know, as Nick says, the kids say.
If we can get Labyrinth, give us The Hunger. Here we
go.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I don't know how they could pull that one off.
I'm sure they could.
No. It would have to be like a Svenghoolie After Dark.
Yeah,
it would have to be like a.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Aaron, for all like these Svenghoolie producers, you get Gwen Gooley to host The Hunger.
Oh yeah.
We'll go through.
Oh yeah. She could do Gwen Gooley After Dark. Yep. She could do it. Make it way past prime time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do it at 1 a.m. and classic horror movie time.
Write your checks to the Return
of the Son of the Show. Yeah,
royalties.
Yeah. That would. That would totally kill. You're right.
Leave it to Nick.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, I think we can wrap this up.
Yeah.
Again, if you like this channel, you like what we do, do all the YouTube things down below.
Because unlike this movie, We would like our audience to grow.
Exactly. All right. Okay, so just like in the beginning, I'm Paul.
I'm Mark.
I'm Nick.
And this has been the return of the son of the show.
Sarah Roberts is in jeopardy.
Hey, lady, how about it?
Stay with her. Help her, for she has begun to feel the awful horror of the hunger. John Blaylock, the hunger has given him everlasting life. Until now, pray for him. Miriam Blaylock. She feeds 1 day in 7 on the unsuspecting, and soon she will turn into something that you will never be able to forget. No matter how hard and how long you try, fear her.
What have you done to me?
Haunting, mysterious, sensual, strange, perverse, riveting. The hunger.
And that's the camera mark. So if you look at that, you see you're being.
I never look at the camera.
If you ever want to look at the camera, look at the
All right,
camera.
now I'm looking at it, but look, my head still looks like I'm looking down.
That's because you don't want the camera to know you're looking at it. It's weird.
Kind of shot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but even if I'm looking at it, I still look like I'm looking down for some reason.
Why are you looking at the ceiling?
Because I was trying to.
All right.